All right, everyone, welcome back to JT's Joyrides, and today I've got a special treat. We're checking out the all-new redesigned 2023 Honda CRV. Looking at the EXL trim, and guys, I've got to say, this is a very fresh design for Honda. The CRV, as we all know, is a great classic mid-sized SUV providing standard reliability and performance for many years, and this body style brings a fresh new take on the classic SUV that people know and love. So what we're looking at today is the EXL trim, which is the top of the line trim for the non-hybrid model. What's powering this vehicle is a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. As configured, is all-wheel drive. Pop the hood here so you can get a peek as to what we're looking at under the hood. One thing I like with this compared to some of the competition, you actually have hydraulic hood struts to kind of hold everything up. You'll see it's a nice clutter-free engine bay. Again, you're familiar with that 1.5 liter that's been powering this vehicle for a few years now. Easy access to your battery, so maintenance and checking in on everything's pretty simple, pretty user-friendly. Closing everything down, you're greeted by an all-new look for this LED headlight right here. You'll also find this fresh, wide stamped grille, kind of similar to the Passport and what you'd find in the Pilot, giving it a much more modern look. Again, with the EXL trim, it'll come standard with, of course, safety features, nice alloy wheels, keyless entry, and of course, leather. As you kind of make your way through, room is definitely not shortened here in this vehicle. Once you get in the back seat, you'll find that there's more than enough room. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, but it's right around 5'10". I've got more than enough room. One thing I like that they've incorporated for the passengers is the dual air function back here. Because you have the independent control up front, what's nice is what's on the driver's side will pass through on this side. Likewise, what's on the passenger side will pass through on this side. When you're looking at price for these vehicles, this one has its equipped is priced at $37,510. One thing to note too, once we hop in the driver's seat, a lot of similarities that you'll see in a lot of the different competition out there. Of course, you'll be greeted with a nice push button start. Once you start the vehicle, it has a nice adjustability and slides forward for you, which is pretty helpful. Of course, you have a nice digital display. You can kind of see everything right over here. For those who ride with you and you have guests, you can also check and see if everyone's got their seatbelt on. It's got sensors to make sure that whoever's riding in the vehicle has their seatbelt on. Of course, you have memory seats, which is super helpful if you have multiple drivers to kind of program that in however you need. Of course, you have the mirror adjustments, power windows, power locks. And what's really nice too is how they've set up the safety features and the adaptability for the cruise control. So you can control all of that from this side of the steering wheel. And there's also menus in here. You can kind of navigate all of that. Of course, as you look at these vehicles, connectivity is super important. Honda prioritized that by including Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto, so you can remain connected to those you love, and also making things easy as you navigate on your everyday drives as well as your one-off vacations and road trips that you may find yourself in. One thing that I have mixed reviews with, that I'm still trying to determine how I feel about it, is this display right here for your temperature, which kind of blends in right here. It's kind of a challenge to kind of see that once you kind of get it going. And then what's also interesting is, this really weird mesh situation here, because not all of it is vent. You have vents right here and here, but as you look closer, you can kind of see where the vents kind of dissipate here and turns into just a closed space. I wish Honda would, instead of having it continue all the way across, would maybe just have, something that kind of matches this carbon fiber look you have right here to go across until you meet that another air vent. So one thing to kind of keep in mind is, again, superficial things. Ultimately, if that doesn't matter to you, this wouldn't be a bad option at all. Of course, you're greeted with a power display right here, so it won't be digitized, but it will help when you have someone behind you with high beams on. It'll actually cool down the mirror so that way you can navigate and see everything. Of course, you have a sunglass holder here, a sunroof that's not panoramic, but it's not the end of the world. If you want something with a pano roof, you'd have to pursue alternative models and makes to find something that would accommodate that need for you. Again, speaking on the display, you would think that there would be a ring right over here, but in lieu of that, they kind of integrated it in here. Interesting, you know, takes a little bit of getting used to, but again, these are just superficial things. Of course, you have a nice wireless phone charger right here, so you can kind of integrate your driving and everything all right here. Throw your phone down there, get in and drive. This does incorporate start-stop technology. Most of the models out in the mid-size SUV segment include this feature. There's no way to turn it off permanently that I'm aware of. Obviously, if you're familiar with it, please feel free to drop a comment so we can kind of share the good news. Of course, it has downhill descent control, an electronic parking brake. Unlike Toyota, where it automatically puts it on for you, it doesn't incorporate that. So if you want to manually input it, you would just pull it up, and when you are done using it, you press down. The brake hold function is nice for mountainous driving to kind of help hold you if you're on a slope, and it'll hold you in place when you're stopped. And then some people find that it's advantageous in everyday driving. So instead of leaving your foot buried on the brake at a stoplight, just incorporate this button here, and you'll see right here the brake hold. And then you have your seatbelt on, and it'll kind of hold you in place. One other thing to note with Honda, their backup camera quality has never been standout. Like you look at some of these other models, they offer some pretty impressive resolution for their camera quality. And I still find that this backup camera is back in 2015. So that's one thing I'm not, again, as thrilled with. But when you buy these cars, you buy them for comfort, you buy them for reliability, and most of all, you buy them because it's the right car for you. And a lot of people find that whether you go Toyota, you go Honda, you're not going to go wrong in any of those departments. It's truly going to be a matter of what fits your lifestyle and what fits your budget. One thing to kind of look at, too, when you look at lifestyle is your storage. We're going to pop open the trunk. You can take a look and see how everything looks back here. One thing that's always been impressive with the CRVs is the advanced storage you have in the back. One thing that's nice too is it's a really deep storage. So if you have, like, you go on vacation and road trip, you have a really deep storage compartment. And of course you could fold these back seats. So we can kind of give you an idea here of what kind of storage you get when you actually fold these seats. So they fold perfectly flat. The only thing that's a little bit of a disadvantage with such a deep trunk, it's not perfectly flat in relationship to the back of the trunk. So I'll flip it so you can kind of see what we're looking at here. So in relationship to being how flush it is, this is flat. It kind of dips down. You can kind of see my hand kind of disappearing here. And then it levels up, and then it goes up again. So if that doesn't matter to you, you obviously can still take advantage of the depth of storage. One thing that's great and you don't have to worry about in this situation is things rolling and getting stuck back behind the seat when you fold them down. They have a nice, really durable carpeted material that kind of covers it, so you don't have to worry about losing a can of soup if you're going grocery shopping, or any little things that you pack when you go on vacation to get stuck underneath the seat. Of course, you can fold both seats flat. It also offers a little privacy notch right here, and you can put a little privacy cover for your groceries and personal items when you go on a road trip. Of course, it has a power trunk, which is super nice. You can kind of close it up, button it up. This is actually, it's called an urban gray. I'm really digging it. Kind of is reminiscent of the lunar rock color that Toyota offers, and truly, the more I look at it, reminds me of the cement color that they offer, where it's more like a bluish gray. You can kind of see here the LED lights at work, really impressive. The one thing that's interesting when you compare trims, it doesn't have fog lights. When you look at Toyota as a competitor, the XLE Premium would be comparable to what you're looking at here. It offers fog lights. This is not something that's available on this particular vehicle. Gas tank is on the driver's side, so you don't have to worry about trying to remember what side's which. Worst comes to worst, you can use the arrow on that inner cluster as a point of reference for you. All in all, I think Honda did a great job with the redesign. I think it's a very fresh take on a classic vehicle that has been, frankly, one of their number one sellers in the mid-size SUV segment. Of course, you have the intermittent wipers, front and rear. You know, it's simple, user-friendly, and of course, when you look at the key fob, Honda didn't try and reinvent the wheel. Something easy, pocket-friendly, lock, unlock, open the trunk, panic, and of course, remote start. So you can remote start it from the key fob. This is a pretty nifty feature. Some companies have kind of switched to a more digital function where you have to go into an app and do the remote start. I like that Honda's kept the hardware in place so you can use remote start without having to jump into an app and worry about another subscription, another fee you have to pay, and all of that. It's pretty user-friendly. And I gotta say, Honda has done a great job with the quality of the materials. I feel like the interior wasn't done cheaply. The storage spins are tastefully placed. Like the center console space has got more than enough room. You can at least get, I would say, 3 or 4 boxes of double stuffed Oreos in here pretty easily. And if you don't care about losing your storage space here, this is just wide enough for 1 box of double stuffed Oreos to kind of slide right into place here. A nice incorporation of charging ports, 12 volts, heated seats. All of the buttons are pretty much laid out. Again, the only thing I'm not so thrilled with is the way they kind of hit some of the menus within here. To someone who isn't as familiar with it, you'd kind of get lost in the sauce of trying to make sure you're cutting it on, turning it off, doing whatever it is that you need, which after a day or two of ownership, I'm sure it'd be more than easy to navigate. This is just one of the rare opportunities I actually get to have my hands on one of these. And speaking of thanking an opportunity of being in the car, I want to thank Mechanicsville Honda for being so gracious enough to share this vehicle with me. This is a dealer demo they have on standby for guests to come check out vehicles. So if you have questions and you're interested, please still feel free to stop by Mechanicsville Honda. They'd be happy to help you and service all of your vehicle needs when it comes to Honda. They also have a service department, so if you need anything, don't be shy, give them a call. Well, this is all I've got for today's video. I want to thank you so much for checking in very briefly as we do a quick video on this CRV. If you have questions, have concerns, have a comment, please feel free to share. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.